So today we're going to be beefing up and expanding on our off-grid solar-powered battery bank. We're going to be adding some new batteries. We're going to be swapping out the old solar panels for these more permanent solar panels. We're also going to be relocating the solar array entirely. As you can tell where the shadow is, these panels have only been in full sun for, I don't know, about half an hour or so, and the day's already half gone. So the plan is going to be to go from here to up there on that roof. And because it's faced directly south, the most intense part of the sun will be at a 90-degree angle to the solar panels. So that's going to work out nicely. So our needs for solar and battery capacity have increased because this little area in here has become a place where everybody likes to hang out. Stacy comes over and watches TV while we're working on projects. We also want to be able to run a full-size fridge for right now, at least a mini fridge. We've been using a 12-volt compressor cooler, which doesn't use a whole lot of energy, but even so, it's almost still too much for the solar system and the one battery that we have hooked up right now. So we're gonna beef it up just a little. Aaron's gonna be helping me with this project today. First things first, we're gonna build a frame for the solar panels. So we have everything that we need to assemble the frame. We're gonna be using this pocket hole jig to kind of piece everything together. And if you don't know what that is, I'll show you real quick. So that puts us a hole in the wood just like that. So this is going to be the way to make the strongest bond possible. Anytime you can avoid putting a screw or a nail in the end grain of a piece of wood like this, the better. Imagine if you were to take a broom and squeeze the bristles together and screw a screw into the end of that. How well do you think that would hold? It's kind of similar to the way that the grains of a wood are. Of a wood? That's similar to the way the grain of the wood is oriented, so it's always better to go in through the side if you can. We have our frame built out of wood, and we're attaching the solar panels. I would have liked to have used aluminum on the frame, but we don't have aluminum, and eventually we're going to replace that roof over there anyway, so wood will be just fine for now. So we got the frame built, we have the solar panels attached to the frame, and we got it stood up so that we can work on the back of it. So basically all four of these solar panels are 12 volts, and we're going to do this one and this one wired in series to make 24 volts. Same with these two, and then we're going to wire those two sets of 24 volt panels in parallel, and then once they're on the roof, we're going to pump that electricity over. That is then going to go into our solar controller, and apparently that solar controller that we're using, and I'll show that here in just a moment, automatically detects the voltage of your battery and then steps this down to 12 volts. The benefit of using 24 volts versus 12 volts, if we were doing this distance of a run in 12 volt, we would have to use 4-gauge wire. Since we're doing 24, we can use 8-gauge wire, and the reason that is beneficial is just simply the cost of it. It's like half the cost. Some time has passed, but we're back here working on the solar today. And the original plan was to put the solar panels up on this roof. After considering the fact that this roof is not in the best shape and it's definitely going to need to be redone at some point, I don't think I want to go ahead and start stacking panels on it. Number one, we'll have to deal with that when we go to rebuild the roof. Number two, if the solar array ever needs any work, I don't really want to have to go on top of this roof again to work on it. However, I think we can accomplish pretty much the same result, be it a little bit less effective. Putting the solar panels on the ground will work almost as good as on the roof. And eventually, once we get a new roof put on, then we'll go ahead and install the permanent solar array in a permanent way on top of the roof. So for now, this is the plan right here. The project is going to be so much easier now that we don't have to go up there, but we do still have to put some conduit in the ground for our wires to run across. And I don't know yet, but I'm hoping that's going to be easy too. While putting conduit in the ground or water line or any other kind of below ground utility is not usually particularly easy work, I think I have a bit of a secret weapon, and I'm pretty excited to try this. This is a tractor attachment that we've had on the property for months and months and months because I knew eventually it was going to come in handy, but we haven't yet tried it out. This is a subsoiler with a pipe layer. Basically the way this works is it has a plow on the front that digs a trench, and then this piece right here lays down inside of that trench, and you run your pipe through the top of the hole and out the back, and it lays it in. It's a pretty simple piece of machinery, but if it works the way it's supposed to, it's going to be invaluable around here. I should also mention that this particular attachment can effectively bury anything you need up to about, I think it's 18 inches. 18 inches is more than enough for us around here. We don't really have a frost line. I think 6 inches is code, but really and truthfully, most of the time you could just lay your line on top of the ground and it would never freeze. So this puppy right here will do more than what we need. Let's get it hooked up and see if it actually works. The one downside to this thing is it is pretty heavy. But it does seem to be built good. I should go ahead and mention too that this thing, I think we only paid like, I want to say between 350 and 400 bucks, which is pretty cheap when you think about how many times we're going to be able to use this, and then kind of compare that to how much it costs to get like a trencher out here and how many times we would need to do that versus the one time we had to buy this. So if it works, it's going to make a lot of sense. But we'll see. Yeah, lined up perfect. What are the chances of that? Now we're just going to make our adjustments to our chains and we'll be able to test this sucker out. I guess we're ready. I guess we're as ready as we'll ever be. We're looking at about a 90 to 100 foot run from there to this building here. I have my doubts as to whether or not our little tractor's got enough lead in her to pull that plow through the ground, but we're about to find out. Not quite deep as we need it. We'll have to change the angle here. Let's get a little more aggressive with it. Let's try that. And we're spinning. We just don't have enough tractor to do it. The ground is so dry here. We haven't had rain in months. This ground is pretty hard. I'm thinking we can still do it. We're just gonna have to make a couple of passes. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll go shallow on the first pass and then a little bit deeper on the second, and it might take us 3 attempts, but maybe we can get it. We'll see. Well, the little tractor just didn't have it in her. I mean, we got it done, kinda. We weren't able to actually lay the pipe with the machine like we're supposed to, but we broke a trench up. This ground is just so hard. Like that's not a rock. That's ground. It's so dry. I think in better conditions, this would have worked a whole lot easier. But it broke the ground up nice enough so we can get in here with a shovel, and we've saved ourselves quite a bit of work at least anyway. We'll just come in here and open this up a little bit more and we'll hand lay the conduit. I think I'm going to take this bottom ripper off and see how it does without it. I may be getting my hopes up, but we're going to see. We're going to go ahead and load this thing and hopefully we don't have to do this part by hand. Okay. So we're actually going to hand dig the rest of the trench over to the building. We're going to leave about that much out, something like that. As I start to get started, just go ahead and stand on this. What happened?
Oh, what's it?
Oh.
Not going that smooth.
Yeah. Okay, just tell me. Actually, probably if we go ahead and just kind of cover it back up, that'll help out quite a bit too. Too bad the dogs can't dig or reverse dig. Good? I don't know if this is gonna work, maybe. Oh look, it's actually starting to bury like it's supposed to. That's kind of cool. Pulling. We left the conduit laying out in the sun for just a bit to try and get it to straighten out. We also packed the dirt in behind, stomped on it, hoed some more in the crack, and we're gonna try this again. Working? Alright, cool. So everything from where we started to about right here looks good, and then we start to get a little more shallow, which is still okay. It's still decent. Stacy's gonna try to stand on the back as she feeds the thing through, and hopefully that will kick that plow a little deeper in the ground. Okay, you ready? It's not deep enough, but the thing is like the gravel, that it's loose enough, it's deep enough if this dirt wasn't here, see? So I think I'm gonna have to dig all that out by hand.
Oh man.
Yeah. We have excavated the trench by hand. Now we're ready to lay the conduit. Jump rope. Stacy, if you want to go ahead and start backfilling behind me, feel free. We don't have a whole lot of daylight left. We ran to the store to grab some more electrical wire because we're going to try to run power over there to that little building. After we pull solar through here, we're going to be running power back over there, if that makes sense. I've got a little bit more trenching to do with the shovel over here and on that side as well, so we're going to do that now. The majority of our conduit laid in and buried. We still have a little bit here, down here at Stacy's feet, that needs to be covered up, but we're running out of daylight, and I want to at least get this part done before the sun goes down. So the idea is we're going to go to the other side with the shop vac, and we're going to suck that through and then tie onto the wires and then pull the wires through, ideally. Not much of this project has gone as we planned though, so we'll see what happens. Bada boom, buddy! We're wrapping our line up right now around the wires and then taping it to it. I'm expecting this is going to be just a little bit on the difficult side. I don't know if this is going to work at all. We really should have probably gone with like 1.5 inch conduit, to be honest, but we'll see how this works. I apologize, I know it's getting dark, but we're about to start our pool. About 100 foot. Squirt a little WD-40 in there for good measure. Okay, whenever you're ready, Stace. Go ahead. Yep. Are you still pulling? Yep. That's already getting so hard. Oh, there we go. Don't ever pull so hard like that you feel like it's gonna break, you know? Yeah. Are you pulling now? What's going on? Pull. Are you pulling? It's obviously the next day. We worked on this thing late into the night last night. I think it was like 9:30 or 10. And we filled like 4 times in a row, something like that. Effectively, we figured out all the ways not to do it. This last pull that we did, we made it almost all the way to the end. We had, I think, like 10 or 15 feet to go before we were actually sticking out the other side of the conduit. So now we get to rip all of this out and try again. All right, we're getting ready to start this process again for the 5th time, I think. Hopefully no failure this time. We have our long pieces of electrical cable here laid out in the sun to hopefully be more pliable when we pull. We have a 100-foot section of this small diameter line here with a bag tied to the end of it. That's going to be fed in through there, go all the way across. Once we get to the end of that, we have this thicker line attached to it. This thicker line is actually what we're going to attach to our electrical cable, and we're going to pull the cable through with this thicker line. That's the plan, that's the process. I doubt it's going to work. If it doesn't, we're literally going to have to dig all this up and go back with like 1.5 inch or 2 inch conduit, which is what we should have done in the first place, but we've never done this before, and we're just finding out that that is definitely what we should have done. We got our first line through. Now we're going to pull out our thicker line through the conduit. This whole process is not as easy as you think it would be, or as it really should be, especially if you use undersized conduit. I still highly doubt this is going to work. I think we're going to end up needing bigger conduit. We are through. All we have to do now is connect that rope to our wires, and we can get started on our next pool. We're down at the other end of the conduit, and what we were running into last night is the distance between the end of the conduit and the fence is only about 20 feet. So I was having to pull that length, stop, re-grab it, and pull. And every time I stopped, it was like it got stuck. So to combat that, we have the tractor parked over here with a pulley attached to it. So we should be able to do this in one pull. We're going to use the lawnmower because the lawnmower doesn't get tired, and we're just going to shoot for it, and hopefully we make it. Well, something down here happened. Don't know how it happened, but it happened. This obviously is not part of the plan. Gosh, dang it. Everything looks okay. Let's continue our way towards failure. It's already stuck. Again, I've pulled the line back through the part of the conduit over there at the beginning, essentially resetting. So I think I'm just gonna go, once we get going, I'm gonna increase speed and just hit it and try to just pull this thing right through. Happen. Oh good, the ratchet strap broke. How does the ratchet strap break? Okay, new plan. All right, we're done. This really does bother me because last night we were literally 15, 20 feet at the max from having this done. We were so close. I don't know what happened, but I'm done with this. I'm done with this. We're gonna get bigger conduit. That's all I know what to do. After looking into the cost of bigger conduit, I think it's gonna be better just to use this. Stacy ran to town. She's gonna pick up some lubricant that's made specifically for pulling electrical wire through conduit, and we're gonna give that a try, which means I gotta redig this trench, lay the conduit again, and rebury it. And we gotta do all that by hand since our tractor's not big enough to pull the pipe layer through this dry ground. We redug our trench, we laid the conduit back down, and we have backfilled all the way down. It's getting dark. That's about all the time we have for, which is fine because I'm about out of gas. Anyway, hopefully we're getting close to being done with this one. Out of all the projects we've done out here, this one has probably given us the most trouble, which is kind of crazy to think about because it should have been the most simple. I really think it's all going to come down to lubricant. If I would have researched this small, insignificant project even a little bit, I would have found that you're supposed to use lubricant. It makes things a lot easier. It just goes to show that even the smallest task can be a monumental hurdle if you don't research it. We should have. Okay, we'll mess with all this here in just a little while. We need a break from that. I'm gonna need an extra set of hands for all that. While we're waiting on Stacy, we're gonna get into something else. I wanna try and clear up the wood line to the right of our road that leads down to the back of the property. There's all kinds of stuff out here. This is like a head gate. Actually, I don't even know if it works. Oh yeah, look at that. That could be useful. My goal is to just get it all cleaned up. There's a lot of stuff out here like that, and I don't know what's good and what's not. That obviously is probably worth keeping. We'll just need to separate it from that piece of timber there. And coming around, I've also got this that I want to disperse just a bit. This is a pile of mulch that we accidentally created when we cleared out this little piece of land right here. We did this a few months ago, and you can see the stinky little mesquite starting to try to come back. In this section here, we did not spray the stumps. So there's some more. I mean, they're just popping up all over, which is to be expected. So we need to come in here with something and spray up these little saplings so that they don't end up growing back like all of this. We could also just keep mowing it down, and eventually the roots would run out of stored energy that it has on reserve, and the roots would die out that way as well. So we can do it either way. And then we have this a calf feeder. It's designed so that little cows can get in, but big ones can't. Although it looks like at some point or another, a big one made his way in. I don't know if this is good. Let's check it out. It's a little wedged in here between the trees. That's going to be fun to get out. This looks to be in usable shape as well. I don't see any holes in it, not up here anyway. This is all nice galvanized stuff. The only other thing would be if the tray was rusted out at the bottom, and I can't really tell yet. Either way, we got to get it out. It's going to involve knocking down these dead trees first. I don't know for sure that we'll be able to finish this today, but we're definitely going to get started on it and see what we can get done. That one looks to be in a little bit better condition, so we're gonna see if we can just spin that off. All right. That went about as well as I thought it would. We broke the bolt. But either way, it's free of the timber. Okay, this is going to be attempt like number 6. Stacy finally came out to give me a hand with this. So we're going to switch gears and see if we can get this line ran. Predictions?
You don't want to know my predictions.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I think it's going to go well today. I think today's the day.
If this doesn't end up working, I'm actually going to be done with this entirely. We're going to get rid of all of the solar junk and everything, and we're going to be out here in the shop working by candlelight like old Ben Franklin or something. We're getting ready for our hopefully final pull. Actually, regardless of whether it works or not, this will be the final pull because I'm done with it. We have our line attached to our electrical cable. We grabbed foam lubricant instead of liquid. My thought was that we would get liquid, hold this pipe up, and then just spray the entire can in there. But the foam doesn't really work its way down the line. So Stacy on this end will have to just periodically keep filling that tube up every few feet. And then hopefully that should do it. Hopefully. We'll see. We're going to try this by hand. I feel like we had better luck doing it by hand on our first attempt. So here we go. Ready? You want to spray some more? Yeah. Apparently, if you're doing this, also you can't use like petroleum-based products like WD-40 and things like that because it will, well, it's bad for the wire. Apparently. Now you're ready? Yes. Okay. We're about a third of the way through, and it's starting to get a little tight. Pull it out.
I was able to pull it out a little.
Okay, cool. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, ready?
Yep.
This should be the final pull. Hey, there it is.
What?
Yeah, we're done. There it is. It is a mess, but it is out of the conduit. What do you think?
Yay.
We did it.
Finally.
High five. Nice. Stacy just pointed out that this is day 3 of a job that should have only taken about 45 minutes. That's on me though. If I would have, like I said, had the foresight to look into it, or even just had common sense to think, well, this is like rubbery line going through a rubbery hose, lubricant. It's so simple. Just a complete oversight that ended up costing us several days worth of work and lots of headache. But it's done now. And this is why it's significant that it's done now. This is where our solar panels used to be. And you can see we're already about noon, and where we had them before is not even in the sun. Meanwhile, the spot they're gonna be has already been in the sun for most of the day. Let's get these solar panels over there and hooked up, because I think our battery through these 3 days has dropped down to about 18%, which is not good. I'm just gonna throw some little legs on the back of this solar array and carry it over and set it with the other set. So we have both arrays set up. All of these panels are wired in 24 volt, and they all come together right here. So as soon as we plug these in, we should start charging. And the batteries right now, I think, is only at 15%. So let's see what happens. Hopefully no big explosions. Okay, Connection made. Let's go see if we're charging. Okay, we're looking pretty good. So we've already jumped up 1% and we're looking at about 18 amps, very close to. That's pretty good. Ideally, we would like to see a bigger number than just that. I think maybe somewhere around 30 would be what I'd be shooting for. That's not bad. I'm happy with it. That's the highest I've seen out of the solar panels yet. And it is a little bit cloudy today, so not bad. That was way more complicated than it ever had to be. So moral of the story, even if you think you know more than you do and it's a simple project, just do some looking into it. Or have some common sense going into it. Lubrication. We've got a ton of stuff to put away. We have a lot more projects to get to after this, so we're going to end this one here. I'm going to get all of this stuff put away. Now that the weather's finally starting to change and it's cooling off, we're going to be able to get out here and do a lot more projects, so stay tuned for that.